Welcome students. In this video we will study DHCP. How a device connected in a network will get an IP address. This is usually done by manually. A hard-coded IP address can be assigned to the system by the system administrator. And for Windows operating system, the file which stores the IP address is inside the control panel, network configuration, and TCP/IP properties. There we can set the IP address manually. In case of Unix or Linux systems, /etc/rc.config is a file which stores the IP address. This is the method to store the IP address of a host device, and this is done manually. But in practical, it is not possible to keep the IP address manually in all the machines in the network. So DHCP is the protocol used for setting the IP addresses dynamically to each and every host in a network. So DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. So this will dynamically assign the IP address to each and every device. The goal of DHCP is to allow host to dynamically obtain IP address from a network server when it joins into the network. That is why it is known as plug and play. Host receives an IP address temporarily that will be different each time the host connects to the network. It allows to reuse the same IP address. That is, suppose a machine is disconnected from the network, its IP can be assigned to some other machine when a new machine is joined or new host is joined into the same network. That is the meaning of reuse of addresses. So this will help the mobile users to join to the network as and when they want. That is the meaning of plug and play. When they plug into the network, automatically they get the IP address. There are 4 different steps for assigning a DHCP. First of all, when a new host is connected into the network, it will broadcast a message, DHCP discover message. Broadcast means the sending machine is sending the message to all the devices in the entire network. But only the DHCP server will respond back to the host with a message DHCP offer. Now the server and the client are identified. Then the host requests an IP address to the server, DHCP server, with the message DHCP request. Then the server returns the IP address to the host by using a DHCP acknowledgement message. Here it is a DHCP client server scenario. Here one among the one host in the network is acting as a DHCP server, and when a new host is connected into the network, it will be assigned with an IP address by the DHCP server that will be unique inside the network. Here it is a DHCP interaction between client and server scenario is shown. Left hand side is the connection of DHCP server and right hand side is the connection of the arriving client. The client is connected with port number 68 and server is connected with port number 67. Initially, when the host is entering into the network, it is having no IP address, so initially it will be 0.0.0.0. So the communication is from the client to every other machine on the network. So it is a broadcast message, and this 255.255.255.255, it is a special IP address which is reserved for the purpose of broadcasting. So every destination, every machine in the network will be broadcasted with the same message. And the client is having now no IP address. So your IP address is the field YADDR stands for, and when it is entering into the network, it will have an IP address 0.0.0.0. So Y address also is 0 and source address is also 0.0.0.0, and the transaction ID is 654. Every transaction, every communication from destination, source to destination and back, both the two-way communication together will make a single transaction, and each of the transaction will have a unique identification number also. Then the message will be received by all the machines on the network, but only one server will be there, and the server is the only machine which responds back to the host. No other host in the network will respond back, they will ignore the message. So the information coming from the server back to the client is DHCP offer. So it will be having a source address. So DHCP server will be already installed there and it will be working over there. So it will have an IP address. So the IP address is, as an example, it is 223.1.2.5 and it is connected to the port number 67. So DHCP offer message is broadcasted by the server to every other host in the network. But this is the only host connected as a new host into the network, and it will respond back to the server because now the server and the client is identified in the network. So that transaction is finishing there. The next transaction 655, and it is again from the host to the server that I request for a DHCP. That is a DHCP request message. That time also it is having a source address 0.0.0 itself, and it is from the port number 68, and it is again a broadcast message, but server is the only machine which is responding back to the host, and it will assign a new IP address, and 223.1.2.4 is the message or the IP address. That was the message which is assigned, that is IP address which is assigned in the previous transaction by the server to the host. So server is assigning a new IP address to the host, and this, with this IP address, can I confirm this as my IP address? That is what the DHCP request message requests to the server. Then the server is responding back with the confirmation message that you are assigned with this IP address and it is confirmed with an acknowledgement message DHCP ACK. These are the 4 different steps for assigning a IP address to a machine or a host connected in a network by the DHCP server. Thank you.